Well, you can forget the Guineas. The big race of the weekend is the 136th Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs on Saturday night. International editor Nick Godfrey joins me in the studio. And Nick, it's a race that's changed an awful lot in the last few days. You've had Eskandrea, the anti-post favourite, ruled out of the race. And looking at Lucky, Sydney's Candy, the two favourites for the race, given the worst possible draw.
Yes, I mean, it certainly has changed. I mean, first of all, with Eskandrea, this horse was a short price favourite over here, was going to start at something like 7-4 in the States at best. Last weekend ruled out with some swelling in a leg. Everybody's very disappointed he's not there. He's been looked on as a potential Triple Crown winner. He'd won his trials by a long way. I mean, beating Awesome Act and Jackson Bend, who run in the Derby, and his speed figures were well in advance of anything else. So in his absence, the race suddenly looks a lot more open, and we're left with looking at Lucky as favourite, who has drawn 1. Now, that's not on the face of it a very good draw. Being drawn 1, he needs to get out. Now, there has been a golden rail at Churchill at times, but in the Kentucky Derby, really the box that asks a lot of questions is 1. If he doesn't get out, he's in a bit of trouble. And then you've got the front runner from California, the Santa Anita Derby winner, Sydney's Candy, who was second favourite, drawn 20 on the wide outside. Now, he's got to get in front. He's a one-dimensional front runner. It's hard to do from box 20. I mean, Big Brown won from box 20 a couple of years ago, but Big Brown was head and shoulders above the rest of the field. Whether Sydney's Candy is or not is another matter. But so if you take those two out, you're looking at quite an open race.
Well, what about the British runner? We've got Awesome Act, 9th in the Dewhurst, representing Jeremy Nazida. Could you make a case for him?
Oh, certainly could. Yeah, I think he's potentially a major player. I mean, first time out straight off the plane in New York, he looked really good in a Grade 3 race. He ran on the dirt. He always looked like he'd be bred for it, and he won nicely. Travelled brilliantly and put the race away. Now, he came back in the Wood Memorial against Eskandrea and frankly was well beaten. But the fact is that Jeremy Nazida was worried he may have regressed slightly there after his first run. Also, it was a very slow, sedate pace, which wouldn't have suited. He'll get a very fast pace in the Kentucky Derby. You need to come with one strong run. I think he's going to have a little bit of a problem maybe trying to get through the field, so that raises questions, but I do think he's got a real chance.
Well, there's been some superstar females in American racing over the last few years, the likes of Zenyatta, Rachel Alexandra. Devil May Care, a filly in the Derby. Could you make a case for her? Again,
a good filly. Really liked her last run where she beat some decent fillies down in Gulfstream on the dirt. You can forget her first run of the year at Tampa Bay. She played up at the stalls. The worry is that although she won easily last time, she was sort of changing her leads in the straight, suggested she was getting a bit tired. I don't know that you'd want to be an absolutely top-notch filly to win this. I wouldn't rule her out, but equally I'd be slightly surprised if she was good enough to win.
Looks a pretty tough task for her. Where would your money be likely to be going?
Well, it's her stablemate and Eskandrea stablemate, won a 4th trained by Todd Plesher. I like the look of Super Saver. I would have been tipping looking at Lucky if the draw had been different. I just can't tip a favourite in Gate 1 in the Kentucky Derby. I just can't do it. But Super Saver, it's drawn 4, that's far enough off, can be rated just off the pace. It's got Calvin Burrell riding him. Now, Calvin Burrell obviously has a fantastic record both in the Kentucky Derby and at Churchill, where he nips around the inner. Couldn't have a better jockey for this. Super Saver has form, graded stakes winning form at Churchill Downs. It's been working really well, and also is reported by his trainer to be really ready for it to be firing his best shot here. So he's got lots in his favour. What's against him is that he hasn't won yet this year. I mean, he was beaten the last time by Lionel David in the Arkansas Derby, but as I said, it was his second run of the year. It was his third run back. Usually a good time to get them, and I think he's got a good chance of a decent price.
Yeah,
in an open-looking race.
And finally, the one question that is on a lot of people's lips at this stage is there a horse in the field you could see as a potential Triple Crown winner?
Well, we've got to sit on the fence here. We've got without Eskandrea. I mean, these are the best ones around. The winner of the Kentucky Derby will go to the Preakness as the favourite, and very often that's a tap-in. Not always. Wasn't last year when Mind That Bird won at 50-1 in Kentucky. But I mean, if you're looking at Lucky, for example, overcame this draw, you'd be thinking, well, he's not got that much racing this year. Same with Super Saver. You'd think they're going to go to the Preakness and win. So the winner of this race, this is the hardest leg. But then the Belmont has a habit of unseating them. At the moment, the superstar isn't running, so we'll have to wait and see.